Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you know that this is my briefish deep dive series in which I'm looking at a very unique deck called The Tarot of the Holy Light by Christine Payne-Towler. And I am now on video number 8, day 8, where I take one card from that deck and I look at it, of course, and I also draw 3 cards from the Light Seeker's Tarot to help me understand or to help me reveal what that card might be saying to me for that day. And then I go through my day, and then at the end of the day, I actually look at the guidebook for the Tarot of the Holy Light. And I see how the 3 tarot cards might have been helping me with that meaning or not. And I also see how the meaning in the guidebook shows itself, reveals the meaning of the card for me during the day. So that's what I'm doing, if that makes sense. And forgive me, I'm going to be making a little bit of throat clearing sounds because I'm not feeling well. This video is late. I'm apologizing for that right now. This video is a little bit late because I'm filming it on the next day. Yesterday, I went out on a long trip to Berlin, which was wonderful. It was a wonderful trip. I'm so glad I did it. But it was on a very cold bus. The air conditioning, even if I pointed everything away from me, was very cold on my head. And when we got there, we went out to very warm weather, almost hot. And then we got back on a very cold bus, another 3-hour journey in the cold. So at the end of the day, I think because of that repeated temperature variance, I was wiped out. I felt very bad. And so this morning I decided I'd get myself checked for COVID, just in case. And so I got myself checked. Thank the Lord God Almighty, the test is negative. I'm okay as far as COVID-19 goes, but I'm still feeling poorly and I'm in 24-hour isolation. Not quarantine like you might be for a COVID positive result, but I am in isolation and I'm still feeling tired, and there's still some, phlegm moving around here. So just so you know, but I'm okay. And so the card that I got for yesterday was this, the 2 of Swords in reverse. And you can see it's a very complex card in image. Yeah, it's reflected. The top and the bottom are almost the same, color differences. Yeah, but we have the male figure and the female figure. We have the Caduceus, the twin serpents rising up on a sword, crowned, double crowned. Yeah, we've got a light arm and a dark arm, both holding swords, one pointing up, one pointing down. So this is the reversed, this is the upright. Very, very similar. You notice that the 2 triangle symbols here, I would assume fire and water, yeah, both have eyes. The fire seems to be looking up, the water seems to be looking down in the upright, and in reverse, the opposite way. So, when I think of the 2 of Swords in the Rider-Waite-Smith system, I think of decisions, right? Decision making. The need to make decisions. Sometimes it can go to the extreme of being a catch-22 where it's almost impossible to make a decision, but it's decision making. In reverse, it might be inability to make decisions, or that whatever decision you make might be the wrong choice, that you have to be very careful of the decisions you're making, or that you will be completely unable to make any decisions. Those are the kinds of things that I thought about. And so I pulled my 3 cards from the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Light Seeker's Tarot. And let me show you those right now. So you saw those cards. Yeah, we started with the significance card, the card that tells me what the Tarot of the Holy Light card was trying to tell me. That was the World card, right? The next card, the obstacle card, was the Six of Wands, and the advice card was, interestingly, a Swords card, the Page of Swords. Wonderful, wonderful reading. A little confusing though, yeah, completion. So the Two of Swords in reverse is a sense of the World card, right? Completion? Okay, so what does that mean when it comes to making decisions or having to make a decision or inability to make decisions? Well, perhaps it might be not needing to make a decision. Perhaps it might mean that the decision has already been made, or everything has already been set in place. You've reached the end of the decision process. Perhaps. I don't know. So what stands in my way in regards to this? What is the obstacle? The obstacle is the Six of Wands. And we usually think of the Six of Wands as being a celebratory card. It's a victory card, right? So the victory card in obstacle means be careful. Now you see in this card especially, yeah, we've got the torch, the victory torch and the laurel wreath there. We've got the spotlights here. This figure in the spotlights. That could be an obstacle, especially for a Leo. Yeah, a Leo like me who seeks the spotlight. That could be a big obstacle, especially when it comes to a decision-making card. Wanting all the attention to be on you, me, would be a very, would be a dangerous or at least disturbing desire, right? So the advice was a Swords card, the Page of Swords, right? The one who, when I think of Page of Swords, I think of beginner mind, keeping beginner mind, yeah? Looking around, learning, discovering what there is around you to learn from. Instead of being reactive, being inquisitive. Instead of making decisions, being curious about what is out there, perhaps to decide upon. So that's how I went into the day. I went into the day thinking, okay, so my prime directive today is to stay out of the spotlight. Seems like a very safe thing to do. Stay out of the spotlight and keep my beginner mind, keep my inquisitive mind going. Don't try and reach an answer. Don't try and jump to conclusions. Just try and see what is here. Which is, I think, a perfect way to spend your time when you're on tour, right? You're on vacation, on tour, keeping your eyes open, seeing what there is to learn. Perfect Page of Swords environment. And so, let me get to you. I'll be right back. I'm sorry. This is so funny. I'm supposed to be in isolation, and now that I'm in isolation, everybody wants me to come to the door and answer them. It's so funny. Anyways, here I am. We just talked about what I thought. Yeah, beginner mind, right? So I went through the day. I told you I went on a trip to Berlin. And then I went back to look at the book. Honestly, I went back to look at the book this morning because I really was not able to do anything last night. So this morning, what I discovered was the Two of Swords in the upright position is not so much about decision making, but in the potential for conflict in this deck. The Two of Swords is Venus visiting one of the two houses of her partner Mars. Yeah, so Mars rules two signs, right? It rules both Scorpio in the 7-planet system. It rules Scorpio and it rules Aries. So when Venus is in, when Venus is in Scorpio, my ascending sign, there's a potential for conflict. And the suggestion is for us to start the concession process first, to look at what the other side might be feeling, and in order to make it a win-win situation, for us to start conceding first. And if that will happen, then everybody can win and walk away partially happy. In reverse, we get something a little bit more than that. Yeah? In this, Venus is in Aries, so the conflict is even more. So let me read you a little bit from the book. Sometimes the issue is that inevitable resistance has not been factored into our expectations. It is possible that you committed to a path before having fully thought through all the likely consequences. Yeah? Also, reversed, the Two of Swords will tighten the knot of disagreement, pressuring told you I'm not really feeling so well, so here we go. Pressuring contending parties into a win-lose duel. The next, the best strategy for this card when reversed is to study any split or duality very thoroughly before any words are spoken or action is taken one way or the other. And particularly that last bit reminds me of this, to really be open to and inquisitive to what is happening now. So I said I went on this trip to Berlin. Again, the coach was really, really cold. But I didn't want to call attention to myself. I noticed other people were feeling cold as well, but I didn't want to bring my discomfort into the spotlight. And I sat there and made myself as comfortable as I possibly could, and we went along with the road, with the trip. We got to Berlin. There were times when I was frustrated because a lot of this tour was pass by the thing as you hear about it, and you don't really have time to record anything. You want to take pictures, and it was wonderful that the coach was as empty as it was, because I had a whole row of seats from left to right open to me. So if something was out the right window, I could scoot over to there. If something was out the left window, I could scoot over to there. I could take pictures. But we were driving by not so quickly, but we kept driving by. We didn't stop at any one spot, at many of the spots that the guide was talking about. So it was a little bit frustrating. She'd say something is on the left, and something, and we'd be past it. So I might want to take a picture. So I go over, get to take the picture, and we just keep on moving. So on one side, I felt like I was losing opportunities. On the other side, I knew that I had more opportunities than I might otherwise have had on a fuller bus. So I realized, no, I don't want to complain. I just want to stay in beginner mind. The things that pass, pass. The things that I catch, I catch. The things that I catch but I'm not satisfied with, it is as it is. We went for lunch. It was as expected. It was a German lunch. It was sauerkraut, yes. It was sausage. It was ham with mustard. It was pork with mustard. It was strudel, mashed potatoes. It was okay. Yeah, the vegetables were overcooked. The broccoli and cauliflower were overcooked. But that's kind of what I expected, because I've been in German households before and I know what the German style cooking is, and I kind of expected that's what it would be. So why would I complain about that? Right? So the good parts of that meal were good. The not so good parts were things that I already knew would be like what they would be like. Keep on going. I made sure that I was back in time to be on the bus. I set my phone alarm so that I was back in plenty of time, so nobody had to wait for me. There would be no conflict there. I went through the day being sure that I was out of the spotlight, that I was just following along, and I was just keeping my beginner mind, and I was quiet. And the day went fine. I mean, except for feeling sick, The rest of the experience was fine. I got to know the assistant guide, the guy who was with us from our ship to Berlin and back. Yeah, the actual speaking guide didn't get on the bus until Berlin, but the guy who was with us all the way, I got to know him, got to talk with him a little bit. There was another member of the crew on the trip with us. He's the supervisor of the laundry services, so he's kind of high up there. So he was able to take this long trip. He's a supervisor. He has a little bit more flexibility with his schedule. So I got to talk to him a little bit. His name is Petrus. I love that name. He is Catholic, which is cool. And so I had a wonderful day. No conflict whatsoever. Probably because I kept myself out of this. And I tried as much as possible to do this. So that's how that went. And today's video is going to be a little bit short again because this. Hopefully I'll be better and on top of my game tomorrow. So that's how it is. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below what you think. Hit the like button if you are still with me so that YouTube knows that you liked it and that other people might like this video as well. Subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed yet, and hit the alarm bell so you know when I upload videos. I'm trying to do one a day for this period, for this almost month period of the dive into the Tarot of the Holy Light. And again, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. If you want a private reading, it's still possible. I've got my link to my Instagram account below. You can hop over there, send me a direct message, and we can work something out. So friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.